What is the market looking for from Praveen Gordhan? Your key takeaways today, what will you be watching?
Morning, Godfrey. Well, in recent years, there's been this trend set up by the Treasury whereby the actual national budget speech that takes place in February doesn't deviate too much from what is also mentioned in the MTBPS. So we wouldn't be expecting much change in terms of fiscal policy or developments on the fiscal front from what was announced in October last year. But what I think markets and South Africans in general will be looking for today is some more in-depth detail on the National Growth Plan. It's been alluded to by several ministers, including President Zuma in his State of the Nation speech. But really what people are looking for is for the Finance Minister to flesh out the details and, more importantly, speak about the funding aspect of this plan.
Yeah. Now, in terms of that detail, is there any likelihood that we could find, for instance, the minister putting aside more money for, say, reserve accumulation? Because I guess for the foreign currency markets, that's one of the key issues that they'd like to see addressed. And I mean, the numbers that he puts out are going to determine to a large extent whether people believe the government is going to continue on a sustained path to weaken the rand.
Well, Godfrey, interestingly enough, there seems to have been less focus on the rand and the rand's strength recently. That could be because the rand has been consistently weakening since the beginning of the year. So I don't think it's likely that the minister will make a specific pronouncement on, for instance, he is allocating X% to the Reserve Bank with the express intention of them intervening in forex markets to weaken the rand. I think that's a highly unlikely outcome. However, he could announce there could be some measures arguably that he would bring up the rand again and possibly give government's view on the currency at this point, but that certainly isn't that isn't our base case.
Can we perhaps expect the minister to come up with some more foreign currency relaxation of some of the foreign currency controls? Is there a probability that this could be the budget that he comes up with?
Well, of course, no one can say for sure until the speech is delivered, but in our view, there was significant liberalization announced in the MTBPS. Both individuals and institutions had limits increased where they could take money offshore, and those limits were increased quite substantially. So we wouldn't expect to see more movement on exchange control liberalization at this point. But as I say, it's still wide open, and until the minister actually does make a statement to that regard, there's no, we'd have to wait and see.
For sure. Can I put you on the spot and ask you if you are then saying that there will be no surprises today from the minister?
That really is putting me on the spot, Godfrey. One would hope to not see any surprises from the minister, let's put it that way.
I was hoping that you'd seen a copy of his speech. I'm still looking for it. But let's talk about yesterday. We saw the rand holding up pretty strongly against the dollar, while all across the globe, emerging market currencies came under huge pressure because of risk appetite, people afraid about what is going on in Egypt, etc. What held us up yesterday?
Well, the rand actually did weaken in line with other emerging market currencies in the morning, Godfrey. We saw the rand come just within a hair's breadth of the 725 level on the downside, but then recovered quite substantially after we had some better than expected GDP numbers. I'm sure you'd know by now that GDP was up 4.4% in the fourth quarter. That's higher than market estimates, which had anticipated a 4.2% expansion. So we saw the rand recover quite nicely on the back of that data.